Today on the podcast, I want to talk about some of the stock market implications of AI. And specifically, we're going to talk a little bit about Microsoft because they have seen some massive spikes and growth in the stock market, but also Apple, Amazon, Intel, Nvidia, all of them are seeing healthy growth. And this is all because of a massive trend we're seeing this year in AI that literally, in my opinion, is saving the entire economy from a recession. So I'll be diving into all of this, giving you my opinion on a lot of interesting stuff and breaking down some of the historical data and where I think this goes in the future. But honestly, I'm really excited with everything we're seeing in this space. And ready to get into all of that. I want to, before we get into it all, say a huge thank you to the over 200 of you that have invested in the AI Box crowdfunding campaign that we launched on Republic. I'm blown away that, just over 2 weeks ago, we launched this and we have over $280,000 invested so far. If you're interested in investing in a really innovative AI company, I recommend you go over to republic.com/AI-box and check out what we're building there, a no-code AI app builder and marketplace that I think is going to revolutionize the AI landscape for corporations and also for creators. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link in the show notes, but let's get into the episode. Welcome to the world's #1 AI podcast, AI Chat. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Make sure that you go to AIbox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to AIbox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. I wanted to start this episode off by essentially saying I'm looking at Microsoft's stock price right now. Today, they're up 3%. In the last 5 days, they're up 8%. In the last month, they're up 37%. In the last 6 months, they're up 60%. In the last year to date, they're up 130%. And in the last full year, they're up 128%. Microsoft is absolutely crushing it right now. It's funny that they're literally up more year to date than they are up like in the last 1 year period, and that's because I think year to date since ChatGPT launched, everyone found out how much equity they had in that company. People have been very impressed with Microsoft, and Microsoft has leaned heavily into AI, and they've definitely been one of the companies that have seen the benefit. And beyond just their, them being a company that have seen the benefit, they've helped the overall S&P 500. They've helped the entire U.S. economy by being one of these really stable, strong stocks that continues to just feel like it's always winning right now, when a lot of others have sunk or flatlined over the last year. So Microsoft, I think this is a really remarkable turn of events. Microsoft's stock hit new highs on over the weekend and then also, or on Friday, I believe, and then also today. It's setting a record as the company is gearing up for a really highly anticipated announcement in AI at their upcoming Ignite conference, which is happening, I believe, this week. So during trading, Microsoft stock peaked, and right now I think they're sitting at about it's at $370. This might be, I think, an all-time high for Microsoft. This is really, really exciting and unprecedented, I think. Okay, I think their all-time high was 371. So, I mean, from 371 to now, they're at 370 right now, dipped over the weekend a bit, but coming back up. I think people are very excited for this conference that they have. I mean, long story short, I think people are very excited for what's going on. This is, surpassing their previous high, and it's kind of breaking out of a essentially of a cup base at a buy point of $366, according to IBD MarketSmith charts. So the stock closed their regular trading session with some solid gains. They're on a winning streak right now, right? Microsoft's stock performance has been nothing short of exceptional recently. The tech giant had seen a really continuous upward trajectory for 9 consecutive days until I believe last Thursday, when it had a slight dip of like 0.7%. But regardless, their overall streak was the longest since November of 2019. So like we're seeing some very solid growth. 2019, for those that don't know or remember, right? Like that was the peak of like the tech hype and froth when the markets were just going crazy. We obviously saw, somewhat of downward trends and pressures on the entire market. Microsoft was not, wasn't able to completely get away from all of that. But I think right now and over the last year, right, we're at like 130% gains this year. People are very bullish on what they're seeing in AI. So I think the surge in stock value is partly attributed to their impressive earnings report, which came out in October. And also, they surpassed expectations for their fiscal first quarter results. So this was largely thanks to success in their cloud computing business. But as I've covered in other podcast episodes, like Microsoft is seeing some massive gains in cloud computing, all due to AI, because essentially Microsoft Azure built a bunch of custom stuff for OpenAI, a bunch of really impressive tech, and now they're luring a ton of new startups. They have a new Microsoft startup program, and that's not necessarily new, but they're leveraging it in new ways to essentially bring people over. They're giving them cloud computing credits to essentially train their AI models on Microsoft Azure, and because of that, their cloud computing business has seen a lot of growth. Now, I will say this definitely has received some criticism, as people are saying that they're like cooking the books, and a lot of cloud computing arms of companies, so specifically AWS from Amazon, Azure from Microsoft, and Google Cloud from Google. A lot of people are saying they're cooking the books because what they're doing right now, earlier this year, Google Cloud gave Anthropic $300 million of an investment and said, okay, you get the $300 million, but come over to Google Cloud to train. And so people are saying like, essentially their revenue looks impressive, but at the same time, people are like, okay, but like, is your revenue really that impressive? Or did you literally just give $300 million? And then in the case of AWS earlier, they gave like a contingent $4 billion investment to Anthropic to come use AWS for their cloud computing and for their model training. So it's kind of like, I don't know, some people are saying it's like you're kind of cooking the books because you give them the money, but you see they have to spend it with you, and then you report it as like brand new revenue, but really it's like you get to pick how much your revenue is, right? So anyways, there's that whole side of things. But regardless, I mean, I think a lot of these AI models are here to stay, and they're growing, and like, well, people might say they're cooking the books. At the end of the day, they gave them money for like equity investment. So they did get equity in the company. So, I don't know. In my opinion, it's just kind of a smart business move to help grow their platform and keep people on board. So the surge in this whole stock price, I think, is very impressive. During a conference call with analysts, Microsoft CEO Satya highlighted the company's advancements in AI, particularly pointing out its Copilot products. This is really where they're focusing, and I think that Wall Street is rewarding them for this. So the Ignite conference, this is the big thing everyone's excited for right now, why we're seeing a big spike right now. But this is set to take place on Wednesday in Seattle. It's expected to be a significant moment for Microsoft. The company plans to unveil its latest AI initiatives in a keynote presentation, which is anticipated to, I think, really boost their stock more. Some people are saying that, but also it's kind of hard to know if that's now already priced in. Like if people have already made their predictions about what's going to be announced, or if it's been leaked and then they like price that into how that's going to impact the stock. So maybe we're already seeing a priced in, but maybe we'll also see a bump on the day, right? That's kind of the speculation that's left to be made. In any case, Microsoft's performance has definitely not gone unnoticed in the investment world. The company currently features on 4 prominent IBD stock lists. And I think this inclusion really signifies Microsoft's strong market position and its potential for kind of continued growth in this. Adding to all of that, Microsoft is also counted among what a lot of people, it sounds kind of funny, but a lot of people are calling it the Magnificent Seven. These are stocks, a prestigious group that essentially includes a bunch of other tech companies, right? You have Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Nvidia, and Tesla. And the group is, I think, really just like stocks that are growing and showing a lot of growth and are benefiting a lot from AI specifically. I think is Microsoft. Oh, one other thing I'll like mention on all of that. Apple's up 1.4% today. Amazon's up 2.2% today. Intel's up 3% today. Nvidia's up 2.2% today, although that's for a different crazy reason, which I'll get into in a whole other podcast about Nvidia. But in any case, I just think, as Microsoft is kind of preparing to take the stage at the Ignite conference, the tech community and investors are all very eagerly awaiting for new advancements in AI that the company is set to unveil. They've definitely been on the cutting edge of this. With its stock reaching new highs, I think it's really positioning itself in the market as a very robust player. Microsoft continues to demonstrate its pivotal role in shaping the future of technology and AI specifically. So I think this big conference is going to have a lot of implications. And obviously, when we're seeing, big stock moves like this, investors believe that's the truth. Investors a lot of times have, inside information or leaks or info on all of this. So I would not be surprised if we see some massive announcements on Wednesday. So I'm definitely staying tuned and we'll keep you updated on everything that happens.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. That's the sound of switching your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling. Harness the best converting checkout and same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Stop leaving sales on the table. Discover why millions trust Shopify to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech23.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.